Hey everybody, my name is Dylan Scott Gilligan, and today we are going to be reviewing a DCOM. This is one that I never saw before, at least I don't remember seeing, but it is called Can of Worms. So basically this movie is about a teenage boy who basically something happens at school that's super embarrassing for him. So he's like a tech nerd. I'm sorry if you hear my nephews. I told them to be quiet, but they're loud. And he uses like his family's satellite dish to send out a message to outer space that he doesn't belong on Earth and he needs aliens or somebody out there to come and save him, basically. So that happens about 30 minutes into the film. I guess there is going to be spoilers, just so you know, but you can find this on Disney Plus, at least in the US. I'm not sure if it's in every country. But, so yeah, basically that happens 30 minutes into the movie. So at this point, the pacing is pretty good. The beginning basically is showing us like he's on a football team, but he's not very good at football. But he does it because his dad likes that he does it. But he's really into aliens, and he makes up stories about an alien kid like having to live on Earth, so he always feels like he doesn't fit in. So at first I was thinking, okay, maybe he actually is an alien, maybe he was adopted or whatever. It was kind of like a superhero storyline sometimes, where he would tell stories about a kid that they had to send to Earth. Because, you know, the planet was gonna be destroyed or whatever, so they wanted to send a kid to Earth or whatever. But, yeah, so that happens. He's bullied by a popular football jock, which is a pretty common storyline. But then, the jock's also smart, though, which I thought was kind of cool. He was good at like computers or computer class or whatever, and there's a girl, of course, a love interest, I guess you could say, and a best friend. So it's your typical DCOM what's the word, formula, but I just don't think the pacing was well enough. Up to the 30-minute mark, the pacing was pretty good. The main character ends up becoming like friends with the love interest because they're setting up like a dance. The boy's doing like all the tech stuff. Because the girl asked him to help her because... Okay, this is weird too. The main character did like a prank in the computer class on the jock. And that's why she like went to the main character and she's like, you know, your prank was really, really good. So I wanted to ask you for help for the dance. I'm like, what? But anyway... So they become friends, and then the jock gets super jealous, so he basically sabotages the technology they were using for the dance, which was like lights, and there was like spinning platforms and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. It was like a Halloween dance too. So I'm guessing they played this around the October time of the year, because I don't consider it a Halloween movie at all. It's just sci-fi to me. But it would make sense if they played this during, you know, October or whatever. So basically the jock sabotages the dance, and the main character, I don't even know the names. I'm so sorry. But he's so embarrassed. So he runs home. You know, his best friend tries to calm him down. The love interest tries to calm him down, but he's just over it at this point, super embarrassed. So he runs home, and he already kind of has his laptop set up. So he has all his technology hooked up to his family's satellite dish, like I talked about before. And I think it's like a thunderstorm and lightning that actually makes this contraption that he made work. So he gets his message across to the aliens, even though he doesn't think he's going to. And the first type of alien to show up is a dog who wears a necklace that has lips on it. So basically, that's how the alien like talks through the necklace. Now, I think they said I think that was a type of camouflage or disguise for the alien. I'm not quite sure. I could have misinterpreted that, but that's the first alien basically telling this kid, like, we need to go now. You know, I am trying to, what am I trying to say? Basically, he was telling him, like, there's other aliens that are gonna come that aren't looking out for you. I'm looking out for you, so we have to go. And of course the main character is like, well, I'm not ready to go yet, like, I can't do this. He's in disbelief to begin with, but the dog is saying, like, okay, well, come find me when you're ready to go, which doesn't make sense because that dog is always around. But shortly after that, there's like a slime alien that comes to you know, to get him or to be his friend or whatever. So gross. And there's this whole montage where he's eating different foods, which is really, really funny. One of the most unsettling parts of this film is that several of the aliens have human teeth, like they look like human teeth, and it's definitely off-putting. But the slime monster is so gross, and I believe he's like a lawyer or something like that, but he's one of the crooked ones. So we have that, and then the kid is actually on the phone with the love interest at this point, but he's distracted because the slime monster is literally eating corn on the cob and then starts shooting out like popcorn. It was actually really cool. I will say the special effects in this one, or like the puppets, I was impressed by. So obviously the kid's like, no, like, I am not going with you. And then the slime monsters, I believe so, something like he's gonna regret this happening or whatever. So then after that, the boy tries to go to Caitlin's house because the dog comes back and he's like, you know, we need to go. You already called out to all these people in the universe that you needed help, and, you know, you need to go because more aliens could come and there's dangerous ones. And the kid's like, well, I didn't mean it. It was just a teenager thing to shout that out. Which I don't know if I agree with that storyline. I kind of wish that he had went to another planet and then the rest of the movie was him trying to come back. But in some aspect, the love interest, the bully, and the best friend has somehow also been teleported to the other planet. I think that would have been cool. Sherry, yeah. But then basically the dog's like, do you want to do anything before we leave? And the boy says he wants to go talk to the love interest because he wants to apologize to her or whatever. So he goes to her house. She gives him another chance. She's walking down to the front door. Another alien shows up. Grotesque looking. Actually the one who's on the poster, this is where that one comes in, but he has like long antennae with eyeballs at the end, and then he's wearing like loafers, which is so random. But he is actually, so he has powers where he can basically like freeze people. So he freezes the boy and like gets him on the ground. The love interest comes out and he freezes her, and then he moves himself and the boy like, I don't know, like 100 feet or something behind some bush. But he is actually wanting to have a TV show with this kid. So the kid would go to his planet, I'm guessing, and then they'd have a show just like based off him, a human living on an alien world, which I thought was pretty funny. But of course the boy says no, and then that alien ends up leaving as well. And then Caitlin, I think her name's Caitlin, the love interest, I could be wrong, but she unfreezes at that point and she doesn't see the main character, so she's like mad again. So yeah, that happened, and then eventually more aliens come to his treehouse, and I think they get scared away by a certain alien, who's like the big bad, like scary alien. Everybody's scared of them, and there's like a portal that opens in the treehouse. This alien has a long tongue that can come out and like grab you. And there was a little boy that the main character tells all his alien stories to, and the little boy is like always interested. He actually gets taken first. So they're already freaking out because they're like, oh my gosh, he's been taken, whatever. And then eventually the love interest, the main character, and the main character's best friend all have to figure out how to try to get him back. So they end up contacting the bully because they say he's like a perfect specimen of a human being, for this alien to want to collect, because this alien has kind of like a human zoo, if you will, like a bunch of different people from different planets stuck in these cases. So they use the bully for the alien to like grab, and then they jump into like the portal that opens because it's a temporary portal. So the bully and the little boy he used to tell stories to are stuck like in their own exhibit, and it's just the main character's backyard. So they're not necessarily being hurt, they're just being like preserved, I guess you could say. And yeah, so eventually they get to this alien zoo or human zoo, whatever you want to say. It's not a human zoo, it's like just like, you know, the aliens and humans, whatever. Just the humans from Earth are one exhibit, and there's only 2 people. But in this zoo, if you will, this collection, the main character does find a species of alien that I think he used to like tell stories about or like draw. And this alien actually communicates with the boy somehow, about how to open the exhibit. And it was like really touching. I thought we were going to find out that the alien was the boy's family, but that is not what happened. I think that would have been more interesting, but no, that didn't happen. So they basically get to the point where they unlock all the exhibits. They go back to the human world, if you will, but the evil alien does come back with them, and it's kind of like a showdown, but they call the galactic cops, and the evil alien does end up getting arrested. So after that, they have a little scene where it looks like they have to explain what happened to the galactic cops. So it kind of like ties up that storyline. So I thought it was, the story is really interesting, as you could probably tell, but the pacing was weird, and there were some things that didn't pay off. Like, how was he able to communicate with the aliens? I don't know. I kind of wish there was some, maybe like a cliffhanger that's like, oh, he is an alien or he's part alien, like that, but that did not happen. But now they're all like friends. So he goes back to playing football, and like his whole inner monologue is basically saying like that he's happy, he lives the life he lives, and then he gets knocked down at football, but the jock is like his friend now. So it has a happy ending, not the one I would expect. I thought he would be like, hey dad, I really don't like football, like I'd rather be in science club or computer club, whatever, but that didn't happen. So I gave this movie, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't even remember the name. So I give this movie a 4 out of 10. The puppets for some of the aliens were really cool, but also like terrifying. So it might be worth a look just to see some of the puppets, but the pacing was off for me. This first 30 minutes, I'm like, wow, so much has happened, and then it really slows down. I wish the story would have went in a different direction, where maybe when they go through the portal, they do actually get transported to another planet, and then they have to figure out, who's beeping? They have to figure out how to get back. I think that would have been super interesting, but yeah, so I wouldn't recommend watching it, but if you're into sci-fi, you'll probably enjoy this one. And I was reading some of the Wikipedia, and basically this movie wasn't played as frequently as the other ones, but it did look like it was used in a lot of the Halloween, I forget, like They used to have like a special name for the month of October on Disney Channel, but it was used in Halloween blocks, which makes some sense, but I definitely don't think it's too scary. The really evil alien is pretty scary looking, but nothing that was like too bad. But yeah, so I feel like it was anticlimactic and the pacing was off. You could tell that it had the DCOM formula, but it felt like that formula wasn't perfected yet, is what I would say. So 4 out of 10. Yeah, sorry if this is a bad review. I'm trying to remember everything that happened. But if you liked it, please like, comment down below if you've ever seen Can of Worms, and do you like it? And also, please subscribe. I will see you all in the next video, which I don't know what it is yet, but I'll see you then. Bye.